Alright, well if we got the stream issues worked out, I guess we'll get started. Hello everybody. My name is Endless. Welcome to another edition of the Yavin-based Twitch channel. We're watching a game between Garnanana and Kingsley. This is going to be the third place match for Invader League. Both of these players were eliminated from single elimination in the semifinals, and they are playing each other to determine who will be the third place winner of the 5th season of Invader League. Welcome everybody, welcome. So my apologies for not getting the pregame, but I had some issues IRL, but they're resolved now, so we are here, we're live, we're ready to watch some Invader League action proceeding here. It is turn 1, and let me get the clock started on our end. Apologies once again for the slow boot up time. But we're seeing right now the STAPs of Garnanana in action here, moving to try to get an angle on Kingsley's clones, who are positioned at this somewhat infamous staircase. This is actually the staircase I believe Luke Cook was using in the finals game, and that Kingsley is now putting to his use as well. But we also see Garn here in the CIS faction with General Grievous positioned kind of near the middle. This is a double payload game. Stab firing out, not getting a lot of great results there, so it'll just be one crit on the clones, and let's see if they even do any damage. Actually, they will kill off one of the ARC troopers from these full ARC squads. Kingsley's list, very similar to Dash's list from Invader League Finals. Kingsley runs a more loaded version of Rex, though, with jetpacks and aggressive tactics, as well as offensive push. 3 copies of Phase 2 Z6s with Overwatch, 2 Phase 1 clones, 2 full ARC squads, also with Overwatch, and 1 ARC Trooper strike team. Hey there, Dark Acer Zero, how's it going? And by the way, if there are any issues with stream, any audio issues, any sort of thing like that, please let me know in the chat. I'll be happy to fix them or investigate them. My Streamlabs is freaking out saying I got dropped frames, but it looks fine on my end. So I don't know what's happening with that. Because I can't actually find the problem when I actually look at the stream in a different window. It seems to be running smoothly. Turn 1 command cards were double standing orders. Neither side wanting to go first. Fairly sure that Garn won priority. Actually, no, I'd be wrong. Kingsley would have won priority there because he is 3 face downs, whereas Garn only has 2 face downs. So Garn is actually going second on this opening turn. We see him lining up a BX shot. Kingsley doesn't have any... no, he does have a dodge token. Never mind. I was going to say, dodge tokens are kind of the bane of the BX droid's existence. At least the BX sniper. Because it doesn't have high velocity. And generally speaking, it's going to make hits instead of crits. Because it doesn't have the critical keyword like the ARC Trooper sniper has. And so BX droids are pretty much stopped by clone dodge sharing. It's a really strong tactic. Garn's got to be careful with his placement here not to get his BX droids displaced by a STAP rider. It's coming from around this huge piece of line of sight blocking turning. This thing is like a 20-foot wall. Thank you for letting me know, Dark Acer, that everything is looking and sounding good. That is really heartening to know. I can just sort of ignore these Streamlabs warnings. Always feels bad when Streamlabs yells at you. Here we go. Will they score a crit? They will not. A dodge share will negate it, as I just mentioned, so there it goes. But it does remove a standby token. Also important to remove standbys to keep the clones from doubling up attacks through their strongest units, and Kingsley's list is definitely one that abuses standby sharing hardcore. ARC troopers with their sharpshooter and very consistent guns make excellent standby targets. Just taking a minute here to plug everything in Legion community, get people into the game. Welcome everybody that just joined us. Get this ambient track rolling one more time and we'll be good to go for the next couple of hours. Well, I mean, yeah, it's a pretty strong word. What word could I use instead? Shenanigans? Exploit? Exploitation? Standby exploiters? We're seeing some micro adjustments from Kingsley and Garn here, trying to get Garn trying to get his second pair of STAPs on target here to put more damage on these ARC troopers. He's being aggressive here. This is round one attacking these ARC troopers, and I wonder if he'll have a follow-up from his droid squads. The ARCs are a little bit forward here and kind of exposed. So Garn is trying to seize the opportunity. And it looks like he did in fact lose a BX droid sniper to the ARC trooper sniper. So Garn already down a BX droid mini. He only has 4 total, since this list that he's running is 5 squads of droids with heavy weapons, a 6th squad of droids with uplink, 2 BX snipers and 2 STAP riders, 1 equipped with an uplink. Kingsley takes aim at the other droid sniper, trying to eliminate these low wound activations, get a lead on points. Gets a natural crit off his ARC sniper. Will impervious trigger? It will. No damage is dealt to the BX droids. Impervious, such a great keyword for resisting the fire of sniper type weapons with their pierce. And Kingsley is going to put the rest of the squad's weapons into the STAP rider leader with a single dodge. All 3 hits land, and Sharpshooter reduces the cover of these STAP riders by 1, so it should be light plus a dodge into 1 hit there. Oh no, they had 2 dodges. Never mind, there's no damage actually. So these guys moved twice and they had 2 dodges. So 0 damage into the STAPs. So Garn feeling pretty good about this. That was actually a standby attack that the STAPs took. And now Garn is going to shoot with his black STAP Rider unit into the orange ARC Troopers. Let's see what he gets. 3 hits and a crit, not bad. A dodge being shared. One save needing to be rolled. It lands Surge. And the Surge will be shared from a Phase 2 squad. And I misspoke earlier. He has a naked Phase 1 and a naked Phase 2 just for the extra Surge token. That is, Kingsley does. Where is Captain Rex? He's kind of safe back here, but he has a jetpack. He could jump and try to engage the STAP Riders. But such aggressive moves are not really Kingsley's style. Kingsley is much more of a defensive player. Just poke out the absolute minimum amount you need to get a shot going. Rex could, I think, have actually jumped and shot. But it's wise not to expose Rex to 2 STAPs shooting back at you. But that jumping move with the Gunslinger might definitely come into play later on in this game once the STAPs have taken more wounds. Oh, synergistic? Yeah, maybe synergistic is the word we're looking for. That's an excellent question, Florfdorf. What are the payload targets? I believe the blue payload is heading for this cliff here. And the red payload... Let's see where the red payload might be headed. Wow, it's all the way over there, huh? Oh, you know what? This was major offensive, so actually the blue payload... Which one is which? Confused about where the payload targets ended up. You know, they might have been able to choose this cliff because the major offensive L didn't completely cover it. Yeah, I don't think so either. Like, that doesn't seem right to me either. Seeing a red Phase 2 do a little barricade hop and dodge. Garn's setting off a mine with the black droids. This is his uplink squad, and it's going to take a double detonation. One wound so far. Could it be 3 wounds? No, just 2. So the uplink squad reduced to 4 bodies. Chances are they're going to hide behind this box-like object, this kind of pedestal-looking thing, and never be seen again. Like, I can't imagine. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense now that we see the deployment zone. I'm almost certain the blue payload is heading for this cliff, and the red payload now is heading for the fallen pillar out in this direction. I severely dislike it. I think Payload is a hugely favored objective for clones. It kind of makes sense for droids, it just makes even more sense for clones. Clones love to just stay stacked up. And you can very easily kind of leapfrog your clones forward. And just continue token sharing on the move. And it's even easier with ARC troopers because they gain tokens from moving. And Garn has no range 4 shooting in any of his core units. And that's going to be a big hindrance, I think. The E5S, heavily underrated, that's the sniper droid. It's just exceedingly useful in clone versus droid, is this E5S sniper because of the standby shenanigans. I'd even go so far as to say if your army cannot shoot range 4 out of its core units right now, I wouldn't bother. Like, range 3 shooting has essentially been eclipsed by clones. I think every faction does it worse than they do right now. But for range 4 shooting, I think the Empire is where it's at currently. I think Rebels have some extremely strong long-range options now as well. The DLT-20A, Cassian Andor, lots of answers here. But again, clone standby, it wasn't really a known quantity until Invader League came to be. Taking a look to see if Brown can get a shot on the ARC troopers. So important for Garn to do as many wounds to these ARC troopers as he can. These are the heart of Kingsley's list. It's sort of like doing damage to Luke or Vader. Hey, what's up, JD Nielsen, the Gladiator in the house with the 2-month resub. Thank you. Hugely appreciate your support, and I wish you the best of luck this weekend at Gen Con, sir. By the way, I would also like to extend that wish of good luck to everybody playing this weekend. I'm super excited that we're going to have a big tournament in this time of coronavirus. I have sorely missed single lay or weekend length events. And this promises to be a really great time. And just to remind everybody, even if you're not playing, just watch any of the streams this weekend for a chance to win some really great prizes. ARC troopers firing off a standby here. That surge will become a crit, and with sharpshooter it'll be 3 after cover. These ARC troopers are in such a strong position, overlooking the center of the board. This, I guess you could call it a fortification almost. Decent save. Pierce will get rid of 1. Do these guys have a surge? They do. But they... Oh no, they don't. So that is actually going to be a completely useless set of paint rolled there. The Pierce knocking down the 1 save that was rolled. 3 droids off the board before they even fire. Shooting back are the droids. 1 crit. And a failed save means an ARC trooper is going to fall. That is just huge value every time a droid squad kills an ARC trooper. So one of Kingsley's ARC squads being reduced to just 3 miniatures. Hey there, Jashaldor, welcome. Thanks for the follow. Hope you're enjoying this game so far. I believe Kingsley is deciding what to do next. Okay, looks like some discussion involving shooting off standby again. Oh, I see. Okay, so Kingsley took a standby for the move and a second standby for the shot. And this second standby, he split fire. Killing a BX droid in the process with 2 crits off of his arc sniper. Just getting so much mileage out of his standby. Because that's just it, right? When the droids move and then shoot, those are 2 actions that you can standby off of. So you standby off the move and take a shot, and then you standby off the attack and take another shot, and then in the second shot he splits fire and kills a BX droid. He's just gaining so much tempo by hitting standby all the time off this clone ball. And this is pretty much exactly how this list is played. You throw the arcs into a position where anything moving underneath their watchful eye is just going to get destroyed by the rest of the army taking standby behind it. Apologize for the little bit of dead air there. Dealing with something from the Gen Con event. As we get closer to the weekend, people are dropping, and I'm getting people in on the wait list. And I really do want to encourage folks, if you are not currently signed up for the wait list and want to play, you should go to thefifthtrooper.com and sign up there. There's a Gen Con page, and on that page there is a button that'll link you to the wait list. I think it's a big red button that says join the wait list. And then what'll happen is we'll be in touch with you if a spot opens up, and then on the day of the event, I would really recommend being in the main Legion Discord, if nothing else, because I'm sure we're going to have some number of drops. As always with these large events, there's usually some percentage that registers and then suddenly can't do it for whatever reason, and so I think if you just show up on the day of, there's a chance you'll get a seat. So if you do want to play, your chances are not completely spent, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, Kingsley held this ARC Trooper strike team with his standing orders, and now they are peeking around the corner trying to finish off a BX squad. Crit hit. They'll spend the aim for lethal. Let's see if Garn's save can hold. No surge available. Will this BX droid fall? It will absolutely fall. A surge token would have saved it, but alas, no such surge token exists. A BX droid falling here for Garn, the first activation eliminated of the game. Garn now is down 50 points, I believe. 52. So Kingsley with a discernible lead now. I gotta say, like, ARC Troopers and dodge sharing really make BX droids look like a bad investment. Looks like the BX droid sniper remaining got something through, killing off a phase 2. And I think removing a standby in the process. Basically, Garn has to play the standby removal game like this in order to even move. Grievous swinging into action here. Oh wow, is Grievous just going for it? Yeah, Grievous is going for it. No standby presence, so he's free to shoot relentlessly at something in range 2 here, and he's got the ARC Troopers. R2-D2, of course, is hidden. Grievous lasting in. Let's see how much damage he can do. A mere 2 hits, no sharpshooter, so it'll just be a suppression. A disappointing shot from the general. Not getting any crits. But what will Grievous do next? He is very exposed. In fact, I don't even think he has light cover because he's not... Oh no, he does have light cover because of the text there. He's getting light cover from that lava mound. And that will be the end of turn 1. A BX droid has been destroyed. And now the payload is on the move for both players. And displacement is going to be an issue, I think. Potentially, unless Kingsley can find the exact right place to put it. Oh, nope, that looks pretty good to me. No displacement coming for Kingsley. He's able to slot that payload right behind the staircase there. And of course, Kingsley, being the expert level player that he is, even left room for it. Once the payloads are finished moving, we'll be going into turn 2. Could we see Take That Clankers to target Grievous? Could we see Call Me Captain from Rex just to get priority? Could we see We're Not Programmed just to take a neutral stance? Will Grievous play Training Your Jedi Arts and try to get a charge on these ARC Troopers? Anything could happen, especially with Grievous being thrown out there like this. What are the command cards? Garnanana dropping his, Kingsley dropping his. Let's see what it is. It is going to be Training Your Jedi Arts versus We're Not Programmed. Kingsley saving Clankers. Grievous is going in. A recklessly aggressive move from General Grievous here, I feel. And with programmed and aggressive tactics together, Kingsley should have access to 8 surges. So he basically has surge defense for his whole army. Dark Acer with the Leroy Jenkins. %33.3%, repeating of course. I mean, he easily has a charge on the ARC Troopers here. Yep, here he comes. Whoop! Can't stand by when I have priority. Okay, the arcs will snap into melee. Grievous not running tenacity, running endurance instead. So will not have, and has also is full health, so he doesn't have any wounds. Let's see what he can get done. These arcs have impervious. Will they resist General Grievous' attack? This is a single lightsaber. Surging, not surging, since they're not targeting a Jedi. But Pierce 2 all the same? Full paint means no damage. So Grievous literally bouncing off the ARC Trooper's armor here. shooting into the other ARC squad with his pistol, since it has versatile. Will he get crits? Where's the crit? But it's an open shot anyway, I believe. And they fail one save. And with the surge tokens, that should just be a single ARC Trooper dying. So Grievous charge doing a total of 1 wound to the ARC Troopers. Pretty bad. And now here comes the whirlwind of attacks from Jedi Arts. So many things at range 1. Holy crud. R2-D2 taking a single wound. Next up, a phase 2. Solid hit there, 2 crits behind the cover. They'll lose 1. And all of these whirlwind attacks generate suppression. 2 suppressions, since this is a suppressive weapon. Thank you, Dark Acer. I appreciate that. That's possibly one of the oldest things I've ever said, in terms of just like old man style things to say. Oh, that's a full out miss there. 3 surges means nothing. I think that just means they'll take 1 suppression. Oh no, he spent a surge? Okay, he spent an aggressive tactic surge to force a save, but no luck there. They just block it anyway. Okay, that's a solid hit on the ARC Troopers, so getting the dice where it counts. They miss, so our ARC Trooper will fall. So that's 2 ARC Troopers killed by Grievous so far. Grievous still has Rex, a unit of phase 1s. The other unit of phase 2s. I don't know if he has the ARC Troopers back here, but he basically is whirlwinding the entire clone army here. Oof, that's a really nasty hit. 2 crits and 2 hits, but the saves are good. Pretty average save there on 4 dice if you have a surge. He'll even spend a surge just to make it 1 wound. Keep in mind that none of the Jedi Arts attacks pierce. And another save for the clones. No damage from Grievous there. On to Captain Rex. Decent hit on Rex with 2 hits. That should be open since he's touching the terrain. Rex will take a wound. And Grievous does have this ARC Trooper squad. They'll be in the open, technically, yes. 2 hits. Full save. They shrug it off. And lastly, the ARC Troopers Grievous entered melee with could really use some big paint here, and gets 2. A double blank, unlikely, but would be huge. A double save. Of course not. However, the arcs in melee with Grievous now have 4 suppression. So I believe that Jedi Arts Whirlwind actually hit the entire clone army. It did a few wounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think, total. That's not terrible, considering that the Jedi, that clones have a big save. Usually 3+. By that I mean a red dice with Surge. Kingsley smartly withdrawing his ARC Troopers as the first action of the turn, opening up Grievous to be shot by literally everyone. Let's see if Grievous can ride the lightning. Chances are he doesn't here. But Grievous is up, and basically the entire droid army now will be in attack mode, trying to get in position to do some shooting. I feel like this came a turn early for Garn. The droids just weren't quite pushed up far enough for Grievous to jump on it. Because look at this position now. There's nothing they can do to move shoot. Or nothing they can move shoot. So it's just Grievous and the STAPs that attacked. And that's problematic. The STAP comes out of the pile. Right, so that is a good point, Paper Towel, that the entire army is currently suppressed, but Garn is banking on worse than a coin flip, that these units stay suppressed. Staff's coming around the side, and there's a chance that he could position the second rider to see the other ARC Trooper mini. Alternatively, he could cut in and try to go after R2, since there's a potential that he could abuse his arc. I wonder if that's what Garn will do. Yeah, if he puts a STAP there and puts the second one, like, kind of behind it, I think there's potential that he could just isolate R2 and kill him. I think that is what Garn is going for here. He's angling for that. We saw Kingsley ping the ARC Trooper here. Trying to use that fixed arc weapon to prevent any other legal shot. Hey, what's up, Prairie Pirates? It looks like he has succeeded in isolating R2-D2 away from the rest of the army. So 2 moves and attack. Let's see if he can do the wounds to R2 he needs to take him out and deny secret mission. A strong hit from the STAP Riders there. 2 crits convert into 5. Let's see if R2 lives. No, R2 is dead. So Garn successfully snipes R2 from the front of Kingsley's formation by by using his STAP riders. A great play from Garn there. Really well done. Picking off R2 at a good moment there. Picking his moment to strike. Who's the abuser now? I don't know. I mean, I can stop using that word if you really want me to, Dark Acer. Really good move from Garn denying super mission like that. Good plays. I'm doing okay, Prairie. I'm taking it easy, casting a game, hanging out, getting ready for Gen Con this weekend. Okay, now Rex is doing a cool move here. He's using his jetpack, jumping on the side, and he's going to see the Staps and Grievous, and Gunslinger is on the way. I'm relatively certain. Oh, but wow, these Staps are so small, it's hard to see them. Their bases don't actually count for vision because they're repulsor vehicles. But I think if Rex stands here, he can see. I think he had them from that position. I would have given it to him. He could fire support. I think actually fire support would be really smart, because that would potentially get around the rally step a little bit. Actually, no, I don't. Actually, no. You know, I think about it. I don't think it's worth fire supporting. I think you just go with Rex's normal gun. Puts 3 into Grievous, about expected. I think Grievous just takes it on the chin here. Just holds the dodge for the big pool. Takes 2 wounds, ouch. So a bad save to start things off. Getting the... I mean, it's not strictly bad. He's getting the downside of a 50% save on 3 dice. Rex shooting the Staps and only getting 1. A pretty bad roll there, but easily fixes it with an aim into 2 crits. Ouch. Rex tactical coming into play there. Staps will spend a dodge. Or no, they won't even spend a dodge. They have natural cover. So their natural cover soaks, but they roll no save and will take 2 wounds. I guess also by going first with Rex, Kingsley gets the tactical out. But Rex now is fairly exposed to the rest of the droid army. So, you know, I wonder if the droids just collapse on him. And Brown is actually already in range. Brown could just aim shoot Rex from here. Now, if nothing else, it takes the heat off the ARC troopers. And they're gonna they're gonna shoot or aim, shoot, or shoot move. I'm not sure. Let's see if he rerolls any dice. Oh no, these guys don't have a token. They have to AI attack Rex. So they AI attack Rex. Rex does a double save. Now that I find kind of rare, that droids AI attack. They just weren't deployed close enough to the main blob. The uplink was down here, not in a central position. So these B1s never had a chance to get an order, and so they were forced to AI attack into Rex. Okay, so after these droids go, Special Forces come out, the ARC Troopers with 3 miniatures left, shoot into Rex, or shoot into Grievous with their pistols. Excuse me. Pistoling Grievous for most of it, and Grievous rolls the full save off Impervious. So, Garn taking no damage from that ARC Trooper shot. Quite the save there. That would have been 3 after cover, plus lethal, but a full save from Grievous. I don't even think he spent the dodge. Did he spend the dodge? He did spend the dodge. He must have. The remaining BX droid comes up for Garn and is forced to AI move. Stepping back to range 5 on Rex. Let's see if he can put a shot into Rex. Gets a double hit, so it will go through. No dodge is available, but neither is an aim for lethal. But it doesn't matter, as Rex flubs a save and is going to take a second wound. So 3 wounds remaining for the captain. This is dangerous for Rex. He could very easily get killed here by a STAP rider. Considering that Garn has, let's see, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks, I'd say both Grievous and Rex are at risk here. If Garn keeps up rolling saves like he's been rolling, though, Grievous could do a really impressive job. And actually, I forgot to mention this, and thank you, Paper Towel, for pointing out the suppression that was present in the army. This ARC Trooper failed to rally and therefore couldn't move to get an aim from tactical or just take the aim action either. They just had to shoot with raw dice. And this may be a really constant factor in the game going forward, that the entire clone army is suppressed. Even with the courage, too. And Rex does have Inspire. He did pull some things away. I don't know if Kingsley remembered to use it, though. I didn't actually see him pull any tokens with Inspire. That's a good question to ask him once this is all over. Another failed rally from ARC troopers here. And they'll just shoot, and Grievous will have heavy to light. DC-15 and a pistol onto Grievous, and 2, but no pierce. Grievous takes a wound. Grievous with 5 wounds remaining. But the suppression is piling up. He can remove 3 between Endurance and Strict Orders next turn. But I don't think 3 is going to be enough if the entire clone army shoots him. Grievous could panic, and that would spell disaster. If Grievous had to panic. They're taking a brief break, they say. Okay, so a brief pause in the action here. Guess I should take this time to ask you all, if you are painting something, please tell us about it in the chat. We'd love to hear if you're doing any hobby projects, what you're painting as you listen, if you are in fact painting. Recently did some work on my Operative Luke. Proving to myself, I still don't know how to do highlights. And I still don't know how to do faces. But I'm having fun all the same. Vexilla, is that a flag carrier? I only know the word vexillology from The Big Bang Theory. So Vexilla sounds like a banner bearer. I remember, or not I remember, but I know that in Stormcasts for Sigmar they have the Knight Vexillor, who has kind of a similar role. Chatting with Garn about what's going on in the outside world, since he's asking. So both players taking a brief bathroom and stretch break. Oh, looks like we resumed play. Still need to finish the gray on 2 phase 2 squads and need to finish my unsullied unit. I actually own 0 phase 2s and no one, I can't find them anywhere. Like, I want to buy local, but I can't find them anywhere. It's super frustrating. I want to buy at least, like, 2. Like, I don't know if I'll ever run, like, a phase 2 spam army for clones. Maybe I could get 3 to run them with Obi-Wan. I could ever find 3. Alright, speaking of phase 2s, can Kingsley rally? Yes, but these guys only had 1 suppression. Aim shoot into General Grievous. Should be light cover only. Strong roll there from the Z6. 3 hits and a crit. And a surge, rerolling again. Likely will spend the surge on offense to make it 6 down to 5. This could really hurt Grievous. Will the save hold? It will basically hold. 2 wounds going on to the general. Only 3 wounds left on Grievous, and there are still 2 phase 2s left to shoot, as well as a phase 1 and a naked, or sorry, a phase 1, excuse me. So Grievous is close to surviving the turn. The question is, can he win priority? Because if he doesn't win priority, he may be facing a Call Me Captain next turn, and that would certainly reduce his chances of surviving substantially. Okay, so STAPs here, compulsory, and then AI move since they don't have a face-up token. Do you shoot Rex or do you go for the ARC Troopers? It's a tough choice. Well, I'd have them imported from Poland. Dang. It's not a short distance. Are they in English or are they in Polish? Or do they come with 2 sets of cards? I don't know how they do their Euro boxes, if they come with, if they're bilingual or not. Yeah, I know they do some localization for like Germany, France, and Spain. And Italy. They do localizations there. Whoa, STAP Rider's getting crazy. They're going for phase 2s? What are they going for? Oh, these must be the phase 2s that I haven't shot yet. Man, this is always the critical question. Is it more important to shoot down things that are about to activate, or is it more important to shoot down things that are close to death? I feel like you should just keep shooting ARC Troopers here. Grievous could be a lost cause. A decent set of hits, though. Translates into 1 wound. But yeah, these STAP Riders are just in the face of the enemy here. Now here's another cool fact, right? With Grievous up here in the clone's face, they don't have time to stand by. So this actually buys the droids big freedom of movement. There was no way that Garn could break the standby siege with just his standing forces. He had to make a big risky play like this to kind of disrupt the normal order of operations. But with this rally comes an aim shot again into Grievous. And Kingsley will produce 2 crits, the infamous 2 crits that he usually does on these Z6 shots. Getting literally nothing but those. And Grievous will take another wound down to just 2 remaining for the general. And the suppression is piling up high. Now the 5th suppression token on the general. Removing 3 over the turn with strict means he'll still be suppressed on the following turn. Just 2 wounds left on Grievous, Paper Towel. It is looking bad. This was Jedi Arts versus We're Not Programmed. So Kingsley still has Clankers in the box. He still has Call Me Captain. Yeah, Grievous is ailing. Rex, though, is also on 3 wounds. So I really think that... I think Garn missed an opportunity here to just dumpster Rex and throw those command cards away. He already killed R2, so with Rex out of the picture, it's down to just neutrals and standing orders. So I really think this brown STAP could have gone for Rex and done more damage. And in fact, I think if everything had dogpiled on Rex, he would have shut down Call Me Captain and shut down Clankers. Speaking of attacking Rex, B1 spend the surge for an additional hit, putting 3 through. Will the captain save it? He will take at least 1 wound. Yep, 1 wound, has a surge. Rex on 2 wounds now. Grievous also on 2 wounds. As we approach the end of turn 2, a successful rally from this phase 2. Aim and shoot. Can Grievous do it? Can he survive? A single aim. How many surges do the clones have left? They have 1 surge left. Two surges left, in fact. Players here counting up the surges again, trying to make sure they don't overspend or underspend. Turn 1, by the way, was a double standing orders. Phase 2's taking an aim and re-rolling into a significant quantity of hits there. Spends all the surges he has. Grievous is going to bite the dust. Good night, General Grievous. A risky play. Ends with Grievous destruction by the end of the turn. No follow-up attack. Was it enough? Was it enough to break the clones? We don't know. A lot is going to depend on whether Rex dies here. I think the clones have exhausted most of their surges. Kingsley trying to measure to see who is left to give Rex some help on defense. But the most important part of this round is that there are no standbys present, so the clones have full freedom of move, or the droids have full freedom of movement and aim shot coming out of this B1. They're gonna miss the leader, but that's okay. Ugh, maybe not. Not with dice like those. crit hit, so you keep the surge and let it ride. A save for Rex. With Grievous out of the picture, Grievous also is going to lose out on Crush Them and Supreme Commander. Those cards are now dead in Garn's hand. It would help him if he could create some dead cards in his opponent's hand. Banking a lot on this squad and this squad here. These are the two B1 squads for Garn that are very centrally placed. He needs to get them on target. I don't think the brown B1 can get into range necessarily, though it is close looking. You know, maybe not. Maybe if it had environmental gear. A lot riding on this shot here for Garn. A full battle droid squad with a surge. No aim. Shooting Rex in heavy cover. Miserable shot. One hit and one surge. Doesn't even bother to spend the surge. Rex up to 5 suppression. It's clear now that Rex will not die by the end of this turn. So with Grievous down and Rex hanging on, I mean, pardon the pun, but the clones are looking kind of unfazed here. And even if Rex were to go down, the droids are perfectly happy, or the clones are perfectly happy to transfer leadership to one of the full arcs and just keep this train moving. But you know, I don't want to discredit Garn. He made a strong decision. He played very decisively, and it sort of worked. Like, he got what he wanted. It sucks that Grievous died. No way these droids are going to get up there in one move. Okay, Kingsley clarifying that this Phase 1 squad decided not to shoot and just recover. A wise choice. I think if nothing else, Garn should put the squad in position to shoot on the following turn. They should already be in range 3 of Rex. But Rex could just play Call Me Captain and skedaddle. There won't be anything that Garn can do about it. We got some droids doing a little bit of air ballet as the movement template flicks through their bases and launches them into the sky. with that, the droids did elect double move, putting them in range 3 of Rex, and with that the payloads are going to get underway here. Blue payload heading for this cliff, and red payload heading for this downed pillar. A very long way to go for that red payload. Not so long away for the blue payload, but they're going to run smack into a unit of clones, and that could result in the freezing of the payload. Often payload is, I find, a very close objective in that if your payload gets stopped even one time, it means defeat for you. I've had a couple of payload games decided by just the payload getting frozen once. I definitely think that Garn is in danger having that happen far more than Kingsley is at this stage. Ambush coming out versus Call Me Captain. Who is the new commander? These BX droids back here, in fact, are the new commander. And Garn loses priority. That's massive. Kingsley, with the luck, but will he activate Rex first? Or will he keep Rex there for fire support and try to blow away these STAPs? That question is answered now. Pulling out a core token. Certainly could choose any of the full phase 2s or even the arcs to move and shoot and fire support with Rex and just start blowing them up. Just a ridiculous amount of offense coming off this clone army, even in its weakened state, but only slightly. Putting one miniature back to keep the token sharing going. Looking to eliminate an arc model, or a STAP model here. STAPs, I don't know what kind of cover they're going to get, whether they got cover from the barricades or not. It is going to be fire supported by Rex from Call Me Captain, and how many hits are we going to get here? A ton. Actually, no, not a ton. That's actually kind of not great. 3 against the STAP. They take 1 wound. It's enough to tip that model over. They almost saved it. So close. unfortunately, Garn has to stay with the payload. So not aim shooting at Rex, going to move and shoot again. And I think actually if he can move to this height, he can deny 1 point of cover on Rex, and so he's going to do that. He'll move up the stairs to deny a little bit of cover to Rex. Let's see if he can get some wounds through here. 1 crit only. And Rex will save again. A 5th suppression returning on Rex. Rex just refusing to break here. I really feel like instead of going with core units that a stack pull would have been more warranted there, knowing that the STAPs are about to get hosed. Our troopers double rally and are going to move and get fire supported by Rex. This will be really bad since the arcs have sharpshooter. They can very easily move toward the... Actually, they're going to move toward the droid payload even. Yeah, they can contest the droid payload and kill STAPs. Just a bad situation all around for Garn here. Though, I guess he's moving, taking the short move to... Okay, I guess he figures that the payload will wander into him anyway. So he doesn't really need to move up. He's instead going to take a position in cover and fire on the STAP riders instead. And I mean, this is actually a no cover shot because the STAPs are not obscured by anything. So this will be a no cover shot with an aim and fire support from Captain Rex. These STAPs are about to get clapped. It's going to be, what, 3 black, a red, 2 white, and 3 more red. So it's a huge attack unless he decides to split fire here. That is a very substantial attack. 5 hits, 2 surges into the STAP riders. Spends 2 surges for 7. And I think if he spent the aim for lethal, that STAP is just deleted. Yup. Gone. Full to dead, 1 shot. So CMC, sharpshooter, all that good stuff, all the surges, just deleting a STAP full out from full to dead. And I feel like with the STAP riders decimated and the BX droids about to be gone, like, what does Garn have left? He just has a massive B1s. Now, if he can clear Rex, if he can clear more ARC troopers, you know, he could still win, maybe. But with all the really important pieces in the army destroyed, I don't know what Garn's chances are anymore. Garn will fight on. There's a nice hit. 3 into Rex after cover, looks like. Or maybe 2, I guess they still warded a heavy. And Rex will just continue to full save. So just Kingsley just not breaking here. Having quite a good run this game. I really don't think that was heavy cover, but again, I guess if you're lower, like this, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I'd argue it personally, but again, you know, I'm just gonna let them play. Yeah, Staffs didn't even surge on defense. It was just a full defensive blank. They just ate 7 damage and died. So Kingsley will eliminate this final STAP rider. I mean, it's kind of sad that I say it with such certainty, but knowing the dice pool and knowing what kind of dice correction is available here, just knowing that this STAP is dead, it would take a literal miracle to keep the STAP alive. I mean, that's pretty close. But with Pierce, no. But can Garn kill Rex for the moral victory? He killed R2, so that was like 1/2 of the moral victory. Now he just needs to kill Rex. Ground droids move, they are going to end up in no cover. But they are still in range 2 of Rex. Ugh. He could move back and be out of range 2 of Rex, but now they're going for ARC troopers. Okay, so okay, they're saying they're not range 2 to Rex. I mean, this is just all the feels bads of Rebel Troopers. Like, you roll a nice big pool of dice and you get like 1 crit. And then they roll the surge anyway, and you just spend the surge from your friendly phase 2. And, you know, rip goes your damage. Meanwhile, they're destroying you, and you're only rolling 5 up if you're lucky. So, it feels bad, man. So all Kingsley has to do now is just advance on the droid payload. He's massively ahead points-wise. So it's literally just kill everything in sight. And try not to lose any activations yourself. It's basically reduced the game just to that, just to raw attrition. A wise man once said, by getting ahead in attrition, I control the flow of the game. And that's 100% true. Arc Strike, firing at battle droids. 2 hits and a crit. Sharp taking away their cover. 2 down. It's still... Oh no, they even pierced it, never mind. So 3 down. Man, it's like, yeah, sure, I have 8 wounds, but when you're killing my droids at 3 to 4 every time you shoot, it doesn't really feel like 8 wounds. Well, 7, I guess, no extra body. Still. Yeah, Madman, it's a nutty game. It's actually worse than that. It's not just 2 dead strikes, it's 2 dead STAPs and a dead Grievous. At least R2 died. But I feel like every time Kingsley rolls these dice, they just come up with paint. He hasn't rolled a blank in a while. I don't think he's taken a clone model off the board this turn. They're not even strikes, Mad. They're just like... They're just ARC troopers. Because remember, Kingsley's playing the full arcs. So they're not even strikes. They're just like 2 ARC troopers out of 10, or 4 ARC troopers out of 10, plus the 3rd strike. So all 3 DC-15Xs are still on the board. And this is just going to become a droid graveyard. Trying to get this payload over to the objective. Rex continuing to fire support with Call Me Captain. Just delivering these huge, just walloping shots here. Yeah, I feel like if Rex had died, it would have been much fairer and much closer. Like, this wouldn't be happening right now if Rex died, because CMC wouldn't be available. It'd be a lot closer, but CMC is just putting things... It's just nailing Garn every time Kingsley shoots. Because so many things end up in range 2 of Rex to get CMC'd. And it's almost forced because Garn is sticking with the payload. And the only way Garn is going to win this game is by VP, because he's so far behind on attrition. basically all he has left now, Garn, that is this one BX sniper and just a big pile of B1s that are rapidly dissolving in front of the offensive might of what's left of the clone army. I mean, I hardly should say what's left. The clones have lost, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 men. Or 8 clones, and then Rex has a bunch of wounds, but he's just seemingly unbreakable. But that could change. Here comes a shot from Garn. Let's see if he gets a second hit through. That's a second crit. Oh, almost 3 crits. So Rex could, if Rex double blanks, he goes down here. Another double save from Rex. Constantly coming with a double save. Rex has eaten so many shots and just takes no wounds. Pierce, so important, but whatever was in the army of Garn that pierced was eliminated really quickly. I mean, exactly, Dash. It's just 3 dead droids every time he fire supports. Yeah, actually, the clones do have more models. They've just been mowing through these battle droids. And it's like, well, that's cool you're stacking on top of the payload. I'm just going to continue fire supporting until you die. And, like, I think Rex has fire supported, like, 6 times now. Maybe 5. Sorry, more like 5, but still, that's 15 extra reds. And they nearly always land 3 hits. And just to summarize the action of the game for those of you just joining us, Garn made a very risky play with Grievous, diving him in, getting a huge amount of suppression on the clone army, lost Grievous in the process, pushed up, killed R2-D2, put a lot of hurt on Rex, was not able to win priority on the following turn, which was absolutely crucial. Had the opportunity to destroy Rex, did not succeed in doing that. And now he's just getting mopped up by Call Me Captain. I think that was another full squad that just died there. Yeah, so that was this droid squad that pushed up behind the payload. They just got completely wiped out by the Z6 Call Me Captain shot. And I think if not now, then soon, there will be more droids on the field than clones. More clones on the field than droids. Man, I've been mixing up so much stuff today. It's kind of aggravating. Now the last BX droid steps up here. What will it do? The clones are about to overtake the droid payload. This is only around 3. I just think that Arcs really pushed Gar into number 1. Because now you can get lists like this that have 10 activations, 3-up saves, standby sharing. They have lots of crazy stuff now. And I mean, part of this is Kingsley just creating a situation here where, you know, Garn has to walk into CMC, essentially. And I mean, part of that is Garn did make a risky play, and Kingsley is just punishing. But yeah, I mean, Dr. Rizzle, I think you're right. It's really that the ARC Troopers just, like, really made Gar super strong. Oh shoot, so AI moved to scale. Firing on Rex here. Gets one through. So Rex has 1 wound remaining, I think. Yeah, one left on Rex. Will he finally kill Rex? I really didn't expect Rex to survive the round. He has 8 suppression. Likely he'll panic off the board. Or no, not panic off the board, but panic like down the stairs. It really depends on what the fastest way for him to get away is. And I guess when you panic, you do have to use jump, so he can just jump down. So it's actually not bad for Kingsley, because that just means Rex jumps behind the cover anyway if he panics. Anywho, more phase 2s coming in. And I mean, essentially, I do think Garn's army is not weak. Like, it's a fine list. I just think that with the amount of arc strikes that, sorry, the amount of arc sniping that Kingsley can do, and the lack of range 4 shooting in his core units, being able to strip standby was never a sure thing. I think basically if you're up against a list like this and don't have a way to engage at 4, you're kind of screwed. Like, you sort of have to make the clones come out of the turtle, and then when they're in the midst of moving out and trying to engage you, then you counterattack with your, like, Force User or your Grievous. This was a Rex rally. He gets rid of 2 and panics. So he'll jump away because of the jetpack. Okay, so he didn't end up behind the cover. He ended up, I think he just ends up here. Yeah, he ends up on top of the... So that's actually fortunate for Garn that Rex didn't end up jumping down, because the pathway straight back leaves him on top of the barricade. We see the rare panic token coming. Now the end of 3, the payloads are up, and I actually think the blue payload is now stuck. And the red payload will move toward the objective, which is over here, the fallen pillar. With 3 rounds to go, it's unclear if the clone payload can actually reach their destination point. There is also a mine in the way. I don't know if the clones really care about that. By the way, these control panels look super awesome. Just wanted to point that out. So do the crates. Labeled a box. Behold, it's a box. Alright, round 4 starting out. Or starting up here. Right, you're absolutely right, Madman. It would be a crazy way to win. I mean, maybe that's what Garn is banking on. I think his payload might be stuck forever, though. Clankers comes out for Rex. And Kingsley wins priority again. A crucial, crucial priority win for Kingsley again. Throws clankers on the full arc squads. They're going to gain range 4 or range 3 with their pistols, more importantly. This will let them use their pistols at range 3. And by contrast, the droid commander is too far away to issue orders to any of these guys, so it's going to be AI attack. And I mean, I just don't see how the droids win this. I'm really not seeing a way out. I mean, I guess you try shooting the arcs again. Yeah, he didn't even play clankers. He played like standing, and then he played we're not programmed. Then he played captain, and now he plays clankers. And clankers with the arc pistols is actually, I think, in relative terms, stronger or about as strong as the range 4 rifles. The range 4 rifle clankers is definitely safer. And also extremely hard to avoid. But arcs will move first. I mean, basically they just delete these droids with their pistols at range 3. Oh, are they double moving? What's happening here? Okay. Kingsley remembering to put his surges down. The droids, of course, no longer getting any surges because aggressive tactics died with Grievous. Just the massive difference in economy here by itself. Setting them up for standby stuff, yeah, it's probable. He's not even going to use the clanker's effect, he's just going into the nearest droid squad that's there. Oh, he's going to actually put the DC-15 on the ARC Trooper, or on the ARC, but on the BX. Spends the aim for lethal. Will it die? It does not die, fortunately for Garn. And then the 2 pistols are going to go into the near B1 squad. And they'll still take a wound, even though they roll surge, since they don't surge to defense. I mean, I never really like splitting attack. I get why he did it. Because the DC-15s are the only weapon capable of eliminating this droid over here. And also, of course, now, because this droid survived, Rex could actually bite the dust. Because Rex will now be in the... Oh, will he be in the open? No, he actually has an intervening pillar. Yeah, heavy to light. BX droid AI attack rolls a blank. And Rex will still be alive. Or no, it's not AI, it had a face up, but it just attacks and decides to move. I guess he wanted to not lose the points. but whatever the case, Rex is alive, but on 6 suppression. I mean, killing Rex here doesn't really do him any good now that all the command cards have left the hand. Meanwhile, another set of ARC troopers moving up to the droid payload and going to do some shooting. Garn tried to hide that BX droid, but was not successful. DC-15 can still peek the silhouette there. I will say, since the silhouette change, it's become harder and harder to hide things. That really kind of shifts the emphasis of the game back onto troops that have a stronger save. Reroll for the crit. Let's see if the droid can save it. Nope, it is dead. A BX falling for Garn, now reduced to just B1 troops. And that single hit from the pistols is going to kill off another B1. I mean, it's heading for a tabling, to be quite honest. Right, there is price support on the line here. The difference between third and fourth is $50, as Dash rightfully points out. Right, I mean, you might as well give it the benefit of the doubt and just play it through and see what happens. So battle droids firing on arcs in heavy cover. Though, is it actually heavy cover? Technically, yes. He's got one model there in heavy, one model here in light, and the tie results in heavy for the whole unit. That is exactly how the rules work. Really good shot there, so the dice turning around, but too late. I guess they declared it. Oh no, that is heavy. So one arc model does fall. 2 saves and a blank there for the ARC troopers. That's the 5th ARC model killed. Right, like it's theoretically possible, however, it's incredibly unlikely. phase 1's rolling crits into droids and removing another couple. Kingsley Dice continuing to be on fire in addition to the numerous aim tokens he receives from ARC Trooper shenanigans. Sending his naked squads to stay with the payload, and the ARCs moving to block the droid payload. I mean, I guess it's weird. So if I don't think this is going to be the case, but if by some miracle the clone payload can't reach range 1 by going up this cliff or something, and then the droid payload somehow manages to get range 1 on the small cliff down here, the droids could still win on points. Definitely a tough road. He has an opportunity to kill a full ARC squad here with his E5C. Or just continue shooting ARC Troopers over here. There is an ARC Trooper squad now with 2 miniatures left that he could be shooting. It looks like he's going to move instead to try to take out the strike team since it hasn't activated yet. And he might be able to get the out of cover here. Actually, yeah, so by the rules, that's still not out of cover. Because the line does, quote-unquote, go through the terrain. Maybe over here he can get it. Okay, it's 3 hits. It is out of cover. Will the ARCs take it? Full save. 3 out of 3. No, just getting nothing. I mean, come on. The saves coming off these clones are starting to make me salty. Yeah, totally brutal. Gets the out of cover. Gets enough hits to remove the squad. Full save. Not even a surge. Just full save. In the meantime, a killer shot from the phase 2s will remove 3 more droids from the field. Crit and 4 hits. I believe that was an aim shoot from these phase 2s. That is the other part of this equation too. All these B1s have been stuck on AI thanks to the distances involved here. Oh shoot, 2 crits through the arcs. Will they die? Double blank, come on. You can do it. Nope, full save. Kingsley! Stop it, bro. Oh shoot, Rex panics off the board! Okay, okay. All is forgiven. Rex panicked off the board. It's cool. Jump works with the panic, so Rex jumps off the board. Peace. Peace out, my homie. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Rex is like, my work is done here. Right, exactly, Madman. Rex is like, nah, I'm good. You guys got this, right? Peace. I'm gonna escape on one wound and go back to the or go to the next episode of Clone Wars. Oof. That was an AI attack that only caught the E5C, and the E5C rolled 3 blanks. Kingsley got that Luke Cook dice rolling mod. Yeah, exactly. I mean, all you gotta do is just hook up a microwave to your computer, you're good to go, right? I think now, have the droids fully activated now? I think they have, so I think this is, it's all just like Kingsley shooting from here on until the end of the turn. Double crit, par for the course. Double crit every time he shoots, good stuff. Right, exactly. Give him something, give him anything. Oof, another blank set of blanks there on defense. I wonder how many times clicking the dice roller, clicking the roll button on the roller is optimal. Like maybe Kingsley and Luke Cook figured out like some rhythm that makes the dice roll better. That's my tinfoil theory. Dang, 4 crits? Wow, we gotta do him like that, huh? Alright, alright. Top it all off, Kingsley just rolled 4 crits off that ARC squad. Okay, good save from the droids there. Surge and a block, but no surge token from no aggressive tactics. And is the pain over yet? Are we at the end of the round? No, there's still another clone unit to shoot. This is almost certainly heading for a table. I think the droids are trying to get in a position to move their payload, but I and I say 1 droid leader on, maybe 2 or 3, and definitely enough clone leaders on to freeze the payload. Another 2 crit shot coming out of Kingsley. Always 2 crits. I mean, basically, Madman, that's exactly what's happening here. This is just, you know, this is just face through rungs. You know, just every rung just like shattering as the body falls. Round 4 is over. Round 4, beendet, as the Germans say. Runde 4 beendet. And up goes the clone payload. And I mean, at this point, neither payload has to score for Kingsley to just win. So, I mean, once you've lost this many droids, the objective becomes kind of moot. I just don't see a way out with, let's see, how many droids are there now? There's actually more clones on the field than droids now. Oh man. Alright, with that, it's a concession. Kingsley wins the game. Kingsley is your 3rd place, your bronze medalist for Invader League Season 5. Gonna ask them if they're up for a little post-game banter. If either of them say no, that's all good. Okay, Garn says yes. Let's do it, says Kingsley. Alright, let's talk. Let's chat. Hello there.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, let me make sure everybody's levels are good.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Whoa, that was a big old lightning flash outside my window. Hey, speaking of lightning, man, these crits, they're just flying thick and fast.
The four crits from the strike team at the end. That was just kind of insult to injury.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. So I gotta say, like, the game kind of rested on a couple big moments, right? Like the first big moment was Grievous diving, right? That was like the biggest moment of the whole game, was Grievous diving into full arcs with 8 surges behind them, which was pretty awesome to witness. What do you think, Garn? In hindsight, would you have put the double saber on the arcs rather than trying to piecemeal it out with the pistol?
No, I think I would have done what I did, right? I had an average probably saber roll of two hits, I think, went through, and he saved the 3 on 3.
Yeah, I got kind of lucky there. I think splitting it up is good also because it put more suppression on the other big arc unit,
Right.
which was, I think, his main goal there, because he ended up getting them up to 3 suppressions. Then I couldn't rally them with Inspire 1 and then use them.
That was my main, thinking, oh, I have an open shot here with the Pierce gun on these other arcs. And like Kingsley said, I wanted 3 suppression on them after they took the other shot. So no, I wouldn't have. Yeah, I wouldn't have hit those guys any harder that I was in melee with.
So during the broadcast, I was thinking to myself and talking with the audience, this whole idea of the Grievous sort of dive here, right, was to kind of disrupt the sort of a natural order of what was happening here with Kingsley's, rhythm of aim standby, essentially, or dodge standby, or what have you. Just trying to disrupt as much as possible the castle that was going on. And it was a literal castle. Like this staircase and tower kind of became like a real fortification that Kingsley was shooting out of and controlling the center. Was that kind of on the mark there to think that, or was it just like I have a moment, I have a window here I can go in?
Yeah, the way things were gonna work out payload and pushing out, like I just felt like it was a good game to just go all in pretty quick and hard. Hitting with the stabs and Grievous and everything. It really just it was going to be a dice game at that point, and definitely didn't pay off.
I think it makes sense to the tactic because like I spent almost my whole army killing Grievous that turn. I'm not actually sure I think I may have like killed a. I don't even know if I attacked anything that wasn't Grievous that turn. I think it was like a huge focus fire. I guess Rex like did some wounds to a STAP or whatever. But I thought it was good because like Grievous died, but I basically spent my whole stuff and hit to fight Grievous, and then the rest of his forces were in position to potentially attack me, and start inflicting more attrition and so on. But with I think the decisive moment was the next turn when Rex just tanked everything.
Yeah,
and was able to take down those STAPs without them doing anything.
Right, like Call Me Captain was just massive, and I sort of felt like Rex really did have to die as Grievous was dying to avoid a situation like that, and then everything just ended up range 2 of Rex. And
if Rex had, like, if we imagine like he wins the roll off and kills Rex on the first shot, which obviously very different from the dice that we actually had.
Right.
I think that would be a very different game. At that point we're in like kind of a close range shootout. I don't have some of my tricks. He doesn't have Grievous, but like I think that's much more ambiguous, especially with the STAPs, because Rex's dice were quite important to killing the STAPs.
Right, like if Rex was essentially just adding 3 hits most of the time to every single
and he
shot.
He more or less did get killed, but because it wasn't in the way that made him panic and run off the board, which took 2 turns, I still had all those fire supports on that turn, and then I was able to play my 2-pip, which I didn't actually use for its ability at all, but it was like I was able to get rid of all of Rex's command cards.
Now, notably, the BX droids, they would usually last longer against arc sniping, but they didn't really have any surges. And so it was basically open season on BX droids because they didn't have any surges, is what I observed.
Impervious did save them 2 times, I think.
Right. It still mattered, but it mattered not quite enough. It felt like the BXs were just hunted to extinction, except for this one guy that kind of got away most of the game. But
yeah, I mean, my philosophy was like, impervious on them is good, but if you don't have a surge token, it's like a 25% chance to save. So like, there's a pretty good chance that you're gonna get them. And I was hoping to like reduce activations and also reduce his ability to pick off standbys or whatever, which ended up not mattering because we didn't really play like a very standby focused game. On the first turn, I had some standbys which were good, but then it really turned into more of just a slugfest.
Right, because like once Grievous dove, like standby was not seen again. Like
I'm not sure I ever used it after that.
It did what it was intended to do, which was break the castle up a little bit, try to force an opening into the lines, but it just seemed like the offense kind of petered out. Like the B1s weren't doing enough relative to fire supported phase 2 Z6s.
Statistically, he should have killed Rex. I mean, I think he was like 7 for 7 on saves that turn or something.
Yeah,
which is pretty brutal.
I complained.
And like, yes, he did have surge tokens, but like even still, like I think even if you assume he has surge to block all the time, he should have died.
I was gonna say like, yeah, if you just look at the dice, I didn't keep track of it. I'm pretty sure like if Kingsley's dice just maybe even went like 40% saves, like it would have been a totally different game. But instead, they were at least average, or above average. Which
I was saying earlier, I think my first turn saves were slightly bad, but I think like on the second turn it was pretty good. Grievous didn't do that much damage.
Yeah, I think Grievous killed like 3 models in total.
Yeah.
And then on
the entire army, keep in mind, there was nothing that Grievous didn't shoot.
Yeah.
And then on turn, because like, what did he do? He like, did he win? I think maybe he put a wound on R2 and he killed like 2 or 3 troopers and an arc.
Wound on Rex.
2 arcs?
Yeah, he sorted one arc, and then he like whirlwinded 1 on R2, a phase 2 maybe, an arc maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't really great. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think on turn 3 and 4, my saves were just like they were excellent. You know, this unit
Yeah.
took 3 saves. Rex took like 7 or more and made all of them. Or no, I think he took 1 wound. Yeah, he took 1 wound.
8 of 9 is what Rex did that
Eight
turn.
out of 9, wow. So yeah, I mean, the yeah, you know, I think the saves, and I mean, part of that is also that I have the condensed formation and I get to share all my surge tokens and all that. But I think that like I think even with that I was rolling above average and I just had a lot of resilience there. And it didn't help that once Grievous dies, there's no aggressive tactics, which means that the battle droids take a considerable efficiency penalty both on defense and on offense because they're using the E5C instead of the E5S. So there's no default surge. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was rough.
Right.
It was rough.
There was like, I think I counted like 4 missed aims from AI attack, maybe less, but
AI attack was definitely relevant. We were talking earlier about how AI is usually not as big of a downside as suppression. And I think that is generally true, but in this game there were definitely some cases where
yeah.
I think the snipers weren't able to aim very often, and I think there were a few cases where the battle droids had to do things in bad orders also.
Yeah, they would have rather aimed and shot, but they instead shot and moved or did something like that, and it was
Yeah,
just not
exactly.
great.
I know that this unit here had to shoot with just its heavy weapon because it was the only one that could see and it has AI attack.
And then it triple blanked to make things even worse.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, AI was pretty real. I mean, I think the barks also like conceive, or not the barks. I always call them barks. The staps conceivably might. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to get the 2 dodges and get into better spots, but they conceivably might have wanted to aim on that last turn. I don't know.
No, yeah, I normally don't mind the double move with the staps if it's getting you an open shots.
Yeah, it does give you the dodge.
It does beat an aim token, plus because you open up the cover and you get an additional dodge, so it definitely beats that aim token out pretty easily.
I wasn't that worried about R2 dying early. Major offensive is actually pretty difficult for R2 to score on.
Yeah.
Especially because he had elements. So like if he had deployed everything over here, I probably would have put R2 down here and tried to sneak around that way.
Yes.
But he had the staps and snipers over there, and there's no way R2 could get through that. So I was like, okay, I guess the like notional objective is to go over there. But I was fine with him being in a more exposed position because I was like, you know, shooting into R2 is going to be shooting that doesn't like inflict attrition on me. And my overall game plan is like clones are really good in the like just central shootout and attrition war, and I want to just basically capture the center and prevent him from advancing, which ended up working out. But you know, in large part thanks to Rex being a tank.
I just kind of feel like, and I mean, maybe this is a radical thing to say. I just feel like in this current world that we live in, which is the ARC Trooper or Phase 2 standby world, I mean, they're clearly number 1 by a significant margin right now. So if you were going to play a range 3 shooting army, like, why wouldn't you play clones right now? And why would you not focus if you were playing a different faction? Why would you not be focused on range 4 shooting right now?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I think that you know, we could be saying this. I think there was some luck. You know, I think we could like imagine the version of this where Rex dies quickly on that 3rd turn, and the Barks are still like fighting and shooting it out instead of getting taken down relatively easily. Like, I think we could be saying like very different stuff about this game. I similarly, my game with Ellis was really close. Like Ellis came extremely close to winning, and I think he himself said that he had like some errors in deployment or similar that like cost him significantly, and that if he had managed to avoid doing that, he might have been in a much better spot.
Right, like I rate Dooku higher than Grievous in the clone matchup for certain, just because of the shenanigans that Dooku can pull off with moving things out of position and scatter and all kinds of nutty stuff that Dooku can do with lightning.
Yeah, I mean, personally though, I don't know. I don't think that I think that ARC Troopers are clearly broken. I hope they do something about ARC Troopers because I think they're just like the best unit.
Me too.
Basically. I mean, I don't know. Debatably, R2 is better than ARC Troopers, but like R2 is also in the same army, so you know it's not exactly a lot better.
Yeah, they're just phenomenal.
I think that you know, I think R2 actually isn't as good in this army as he is in the Taun armies because the ones where like it's really hard to deal with R2 normally, and it's even harder when you have to deal with the Tauns that are going to charge you, and they take a lot of attention.
Right. Plus, like, you love battle lines, but you don't necessarily love disarray.
Yeah, and yeah, like I don't think I have disarray in here because I want my units to be like extremely clumped, and I could deploy R2 off on its own. But let me see if I have disarray in here. Anyway, that's not like the most important thing. Yeah, I don't have disarray. But like R2 is good. Like even if he's not like as insanely good as he is in the Ton army or in armies that have vehicles, he's still really good. The arcs themselves are just crazy. I think I don't know. Some people are against standby sharing overall. I don't know if standby sharing overall is the problem. I think that before arcs, I think like if you look at when is Gen Con? Is Gen Con this weekend?
Yeah, it's this weekend.
I don't think we're going to see standby sharing anywhere near as crazy in Gen Con. And in fact, I would say that Republic in like the Gen Con meta is worse than Rebels and maybe worse than Empire.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree. Like the primary difference without the ARC troopers is Padme and Cad. And Padme is the one that's going to shake things up because she actually has like Exemplar, which you can pull some really crazy stuff off with Padme's Exemplar.
Yeah, I mean maybe Padme is good enough, but to me it's like I thought the best list before Padme and Cad and before arcs was you take Rex, he takes aggressive tactics, you take he probably takes some other stuff, but aggressive tactics is the big one. You take R2, you take 4 units of phase 2 Z6s, and you have like 2 offensive push, 2 Overwatch, or you just have all Overwatch depending. And then you have 2 phase 1s with nothing, and then you have the tank.
Oh yeah, like that's phenomenal.
And I played that list a bit. I played that list. I played some ladder games with that during the last season of the ladder. And that's a strong list, but it's not an insane list. It's not like on the same level as this stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
like I would say that list has like I don't know. I would say Tauntauns probably have the advantage against that list. I would say various shooting armies can actually just blow it up.
It'd be tough. I think that I mean we don't have to go down that rabbit hole necessarily, but I'm just like at first glance I feel like you can still get a unit of Taun's Alpha off the board with the tank.
Yeah.
Like the tank is really good at shooting. Like it's superb at shooting.
I think that list is strong, but I think it's also like not insane. It didn't feel like, oh, this is busted.
Right.
Whereas this current stuff with the arcs feels like it's busted. The arcs are just way too good.
Garn, I just want to ask real quick, what do you think you would do if you had to play this over again? Would you change your composition at all? Like what
army composition or
army composition? Like do you think this army composition is survivable? Or would you have rather had more sniping or
I think it, and keep in mind too, I would have had 4 more points from the 2 strike teams. I would have definitely stuck on an offensive push, which might in the clone matchup especially might be 1 or 2 clones picked off. But no, I really like this list I have.
I think it's a strong list.
Yeah, I do think it's more than functional. I just don't know if it can beat clone standby.
Yeah, a lot of it's I think honestly the player skill too. Like
I put some E5S in there, man. E5S is tight.
I tried that, but I always pushed for a bigger bid. But like in the months preparing for Invader League, because like I didn't have to plan for Worlds, I was already practicing this, and like I didn't have any problems against clones. It's really just like players like Luke Cook and Kingsley and Dash with the proper list. Like that's tough. I mean, you're taking the S tier with S tier, and it's tough.
For sure.
I mean, I do think the other thing I'll say is, like you were saying, I think a lot of the clone lists, we saw a lot of lists even in Elims that got knocked out that were doing some part of the clone puzzle, but they didn't have it all working together. Right. And I think because clones have so much like synergy and like units working together, it's a thing where like, I saw a list that was similar to this, but the person didn't have Overwatch, and I think that's actually a giant weakness and it makes the list way worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because the standby at range 2 is standby sharing at range 2 is like whatever. Standby sharing at range 3 is huge. Or like lists that aren't built to get a good result with take that clankers. Take that clankers didn't matter this game, but some games that alpha strike is just massive. It's I don't know.
That's one thing I have gotten figured out. If you notice, like in this game against Luke Cook, is avoiding that take that.
Yeah, you had a good defensive deployment. I didn't have really the chance to use take that clankers to get a bigger result.
It's literally, I mean, yeah, when the first time you play against it, it hits you in the face, but it's literally like defending against like the 6 pool in StarCraft, right? Like you know it's a thing. You just need to keep it in mind when you're deploy a little bit farther back, hide everything. Like
this is
make your movements inward.
This is something he could do, but I've already built it into my strategy, and I'm just gonna if he does make this choice, I can just deflect it, and it won't really matter. I mean, yeah.
For the StarCraft,
in some ways, it's kind of like the old days, where people were like losing multiple units to Leia's bombardment or whatever with like their snipers having both models visible and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, once people get used to like what that can do, it would be very rare to have that sort of result unless you were playing a newer player.
Right. Like, I mean, apologies to Ethan. I played Ethan at Gen Con last year, and I bombarded 5 sniper models.
Oh,
Like,
nasty.
it was just, and the game was hugely slanted after that.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's
and,
not to say that he didn't almost win on breakthrough with RTs, just stomping through all my troops, but
yeah, it's like in the early days, when Leia and Veers first came out, it was extremely normal to have like bombardment versus bombardment turn 1, and to have the bombardments do substantial damage.
yo, absolutely. And like Lupo took 2 of my strike teams off the board at LVO 19 as well, and
Or another example,
his bomb was so much better than my bomb.
Another example would be the old force push, where you were allowed to force push units off the board and
Right.
instantly killed them.
Back in the good old days.
Good old days when
And,
you'd play Son of Skywalker turn 1 just to force push your opponent's Luke off the board.
dude, on Invader League Season 1, I think in the semifinals, I believe Ellis pushed my Luke off the board and killed him instantly.
Yeah.
And I was able to still win because it was I was blue player key positions, and it was also the bizarre competitive terrain rules, which are not competitive.
Right.
Where
you
or
build
not
your own
suited
board
for like tournament play.
Yeah, you build your own board.
And it was like, so I put like, it's like, okay, I'm blue, so I have the advantage. So I'm going to put like big terrain pieces in the corner and create a situation where you have to come to me, and I have good shooting positions. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so then I was still able to win that, and then the next game, I had figured that out, and I managed to set up a situation where I could push Rick and Luke off the board. And it's one of those things where some of these nasty tricks, you might be killed by them, but then you learn from it and you move on.
Yep, that's right. All right, guys.
The one thing I would like
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
see,
Go ahead, Garn.
change with the turn zeros, the extra token generation clones have, I think, is a problem.
Yeah, it's like a double dip kind of, because tactical basically processes twice.
Yeah.
Right. In this game,
I think I mentioned that earlier with advanced positions and tauntauns getting free dodges at the start. Like, I think that's dumb.
So in this match, though, I was going to say, like, normally I'm a big proponent of, like, just avoid any much fighting in turn 1, but with Payload, it's an objective that kind of, like, you don't want to waste time, especially when I don't know if you saw my Payload position, but it was kind of janky. But, like, I didn't feel like I had the turn to waste, so yeah, it's just like extra aims are just kind of absurd.
Well, we'll see if FFG responds to any of this, and we'll see if any changes come. They've dropped a points change article for X-Wing today, so awesome. Who knows if that has any relationship to Legion? We'll see.
If this were a video game, this would be like the type of thing that you patch in like the first week, because it's like clearly busted.
Yeah, you would just patch it out.
But I'm not sure what they're thinking with their timing for that. I know that, like, I don't know. I know the with the physical stuff, it's pretty different. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I personally hope for a quick change to arcs though, because I think they're not balanced.
Yeah, they don't want to. I don't think they want to errata something that's not physically released is the issue, or change it somehow.
Yeah. I mean, they could just do core rules changes that would make it like arcs would still be too good, but it would nerf Republic a lot if they wanted to.
Right. They could still change the rules reference guide to talk about what the limitations of clone trooper token sharing are, what the limitations of standby could be. There's lots of rules tweaks they could do that would rein it in without having to actually change any text or any points.
Yeah.
All right, I
don't know. We'll see what happens.
I do have to go. Thank you, gentlemen, for being willing to be casted. It was still a thrilling game, despite the last couple turns kind of being a landslide one direction. But thanks again. We'll see you soon, I hope, in maybe this weekend at Gen Con. And thanks everybody for watching. We'll catch you next time.